All right, so let's send. Top 32 match over here. Absoul versus Vanorion. I should be able to watch the match. Let's see. DC. I don't know how to. Oh, there it is. Alright, let's go ahead and begin with the choosing of the matches. I've never actually seen the spectating, but I guess it's pretty good now. Wow. So first ban Kyra and then first ban RO32. I guess it makes sense on Absoul side since it looks like he is running a Bozo team. Interesting that he first picks Florentia though here. Looks like Vanorion is just going straight up a lot of damage dealers and Hilda, and he first picks Kyra. I'm assuming he chooses Kyra here because Kyra can kill most of the units. Actually, no. Let's see. Who can she kill given that she has a... Yes, it's Absoul versus Vanorion. Given her units, she can't kill Helena. She can kill Kruger. She may not be able to kill Bozo. She can't kill him. She can kill Ares. She can kill TSDL. She can't kill Himiko. Kyra's kind of weak here, honestly. Given how far back Florentia is usually. Bans Resential and TSDL now. Given that he banned those two, he's probably going to choose Debuffer here. Okay, no, he chose Florentia. He has Florentia, Liana, and Licorice, so he did have enough healers. I guess it's kind of interesting. I'm not exactly sure what the game plan he has yet. Alright, ban Sherry and Juggler, and choosing Kruger here. So on Vanorian's side, he can otherwise ban Bozo or ban Old-Landias for faction buffs if you like. Other than that, he can go for other prevalent units. Given that he still has Landius, Hilda, and Bernhardt, he probably doesn't need to worry too much about Ares. Given that he also has Kyra, which is kind of not anti, but definitely helps on survival. So he goes ahead and bans Helena and Bozo and chooses Hilda here. Now, one interesting thing about Hilda is that Hilda is pretty weak to I already forgot her name. But yeah, I think the best troops in order to defend against, yeah, Lucretia. The best defense unit that she can actually bring is probably Templar Knights, because most Lucretias bring Frost Strike. So if you go Crystal Bolters, she can get one shot pretty easily, even if you transform into Cavalry. But we'll have to see. Given that is Absol, I pretty sure that Lucretia should be 6-star. Just Absoul things. Alright, he does choose green Kruger, so Absoul is most likely going to be running Mass Attack on Lucretia or Florentia, most likely Lucretia. Vanorion picking up Absoul, which is faction buff for Kyura, so Kyura no longer needs to run Gospel for herself. Though Gospel is still pretty good. So since he did bring Absoul, probably good bans here would be to get rid of Kruger, and since he's primarily magic based, I would say he should get rid of Himiko instead of Bernhardt. Alright, he's thinking really hard here. We'll see who's going to ban in the end. Alright, so he does ban Kruger, and instead of Himiko, he bans Bernhardt. So those are just basically faction buffs for Florentia and Hilda as well. Alright, and Absoul does get Ares in the end. So they are now choosing their skill and soldier configurations. We'll see how this definitely goes. I mean, if we're looking at the yeah, with the matching this way, you don't really need to hide any of it. So I'm not really bothering to change screens. I mean, just looking at the team right now, I think Vanorion does have a bit of advantage, given that he does have Kyura. One thing that Absoul can do is that he can pick off almost any unit with Ares as long as he just avoids Kyura. Ares can, with the AoE, one-shot Himiko, can one-shot Florentia. Absoul is kind of iffy. It really depends on how the Absoul is built. Alright, let's go ahead and begin. Let's see. Looks like I cannot pause or anything, but it looks like Rin is grabbing his double AoE with Highland Warriors. Oh, okay, so Kruger's bringing Acid Burns in this case. Typical AoE. So here's the mass attack with Lucretia, so we were expecting it to be on one of them. Single target and black hole, so she's not bringing her 3C with her. And Florentia just standard build. On the Vanorion side, we have 3C faction buff, typical damage from her. Wait, this. Oh, she's bringing the straight up magic damage Star Sword, so this isn't the guard penetration ability. So that's going to be interesting, but I guess it makes sense since there is no tank on Absoul's side. Himiko running the Sealing Technique and Lightning Shuriken. Pretty standard, and there is a Ram on Hilda's side. Makes sense. I'm not sure Ram will ever really have a huge view. It may or may not. We'll just kind of have to see. Well, it's kind of interesting because yes, Absoul does have a full AoE team, but in Vanorion's case, he does have Kyura, and Kyura can outrange a lot of the units. So the question is, with Kyura buffed, and as you can see, it is a 5-star Kyura. She may or may not be able to kill a lot of key targets. So her key target kills would be either Florentia or Kruger. Marine I've never actually tested, but it may be possible. It does have Highland Warriors with a 15% damage reduction, plus his innate 30%. However, we also have to remember that Absoul doesn't actually have a defense faction buff, or a full faction buff in general. Yeah, so one of the things is that I probably wouldn't have moved Kyura so early. Having Kyura being able to move 6 with 4 range, so 10 range threat, is a pretty huge deal, especially with the fact when you have Florentia, and Florentia can speed buff Kyura in order to have an automatic 8 range buff, 8 range threat at the very beginning, meaning 12 range. At 12, she could basically reach all the way to Reen, or even Lucretia, but that doesn't matter. Yeah. Yeah, so he's moving Florentia all the way to the bottom right. Yeah, Twilight Star is definitely good. The only ones that really matters is when you're hitting Lucretia, honestly. Or anyone with a 100% condition. Interestingly enough, if Kyura brings in Faceless, she can actually one-shot Ares with Last Rites. I'm not I've tested against some Ares, but not like a full 80% Ares. So I can't really guarantee that it will always happen. Yeah, Lucretia won't die. She has her golem puppet. She's not gonna die. Yeah, so Ares, he should have enough range with 9. He should be able to kill Himiko if he really wants to. The question is that what he would want to do? And in honesty, I think that might be one of the better decisions here. So if Ares moves here, kills Himiko, pulls Kyura out, depending on what Vanorion does next, he could just use Lucretia in order to kill Kyura. And that destroys quite a bit of threats here, and kind of leave just Bolzel there. Bolzel and Florentia. Bolzel with his new 3C, of course, being a huge threat. But Absoul does have pretty big debuffs following afterwards. It's the thing with Bolzel's 3C though is that it's only a 5 range, so it's not as bad as you think, but it is still pretty bad. Bolzel's still like a very slow man. Alright, and then Himiko should be dead here. With the pull, exactly what I was saying earlier. I mean, running AoE, it's always going to be prevalent, but I don't. It's sort of still like the rock paper scissors. I don't think that Bull getting his 3C drastically changed everything. I still think there are a bunch of situations where sometimes Bull doesn't want to. Alright, he shouldn't die here. Yep. But it's not like everything will drastically change. Ares will die next turn. Yeah, so from this on Absol's side, basically middle is now free. What he should do is just kind of push all his units as far as he can and as fast as possible. Florentia is not going to be getting any other kind of buffs. So one thing that he probably should do, considering that Vanorion doesn't have too many faction buffs, or dispel, sorry, is that he should push his Reen as far as he can and basically speed boost. So if he has 4 movement, it would basically become 5, I believe, because Florentia only boosts you to a maximum of 5. No. Base movement. So it would come from 3 to 5 to 6. So he'd be able to reach here and hit Bozel. Vanorian's side, he kind of has no choice. He kind of needs to kill this Ares, otherwise the Ares is kind of just going to run. Probably the central thing that he should prepare himself is probably againing, let's see. Oh, Kyra is also 3 movement now. That's one of the big things. Okay, so he opted to kill Ares using an AoE. In my thought process, I think that he should have actually moved Bozel more forward. The reason being is that he could again Bozel and he could actually move forward. Otherwise providing sort of like a threat range. He did also bring Crystal Warlocks on Bozel, which is severely limiting his movement at this time. In this type of game, I think that Sorceress definitely would have been the better play here. Because there's a lot of locations in the desert map which just inadvertently slows them down. Like the desert right here. Or some sand dunes. Alright. So Florentia is using Rush, exactly what I was thinking. 6 movement. So here's sort of like the punishment I was talking about earlier. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then he can now hit Bozel. Of course, Reen's debuffs are what matters. It's not actually the damage. So with that in mind, Vanorion has to kind of quickly prepare a response. It's kind of hard because there isn't a clear response which he can take. Oh, he has first turn priority, so he's fine. First turn priority, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's actually even worse. Maybe I'm not seeing it because we're not able to see the square movements. But from my position, it seems like Reen can either hit Florentia or Bozel with the 3C. And here is the initial black hole. With that, she is outside the golem range, meaning Kyur can go ahead and hit Lucretia, but what he opts to do is move Bozel all the way in for 3C. Because he does have a... Ooh, nice. He did get a slow. But in this type of situation, as you can see, Lucretia can just go ahead and attack Bozel far away and kill. So it wasn't the greatest move. And in this case, Kyura, even if she goes in and hits Lucretia, won't be killing because she's now next to her puppet. 'Tis a shame. Alright, that's 1 life down, and what's going to happen now is that Reen's just going to come on in and do some damage, as well as Kruger. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, Kruger can hit everyone right now if he wants to. It's kind of just which one does he want to move in first, because the big thing is that Kyra is going to heal each time. Kyra only has about 1277, so it's not going to be a high amount of healing, but not bad. Okay, so he opts to move with Florentia first, this getting rid of Reen's movement debuff. And in this case, as you can see, Florentia is heal blocked. Yeah, there's not too much more to be done. What the big mistake that kind of happened in the beginning was moving Himiko too far. One thing that people forget sometimes is the fact that Kyra needs a total of 5 units on the field in order to have her movement be buffed, and as well as her int. So moving Himiko all the way up to a point where Ares can kill effectively gets rid of almost all the threat that Kyra has as well. So usually this int instead of 1277 should be like 1360. And instead of 3 movement, she'd have 6 movement. It effectively ruins or gets rid of all of her threat. Not all of it, most of it. Alright, here's the termination slash coming in. Oh, okay, so it looks like Florentia had her heal block removed somehow. Quite lucky. So Hilda moves, attacks Reen, probably doesn't do too much, but she is capped, so it will do decent damage. Alright, and then he will be going in, move here through C, and then Kyra will heal Florentia. Yep. There's not too much that she can do at this point. She can kill Lucretia. That's about it. Oh no, she can't even. She's silenced. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, she can kill Lucretia just with the auto attack. Yeah, she has 6 movement right now. She was 10 yod. Yeah, but Florentia isn't guarded, and basically a bunch of damage is going to be coming in. Reen can just do an Arcane Gale, which will kill Florentia. Well, no, she can't reach because Reen and Kruger now. Alright, here's Arcane Gale. Florentia is down. Hilda's still being healed. It's very heavily in Absoul's favor now. And that's the first game. Let's see, do I click leave here? I believe there's only one button I can click. Alright, where is Vanorion? Click view, and it looks like I go to the next game. I think one of the unfortunate things here is that I don't know whether they have changed any units due to sub boxes. Quite unfortunate there. Yeah, yeah. Oh, waiting for parties to adjust formations. Okay. Oh, is there those little arrows on the sides of the boxes? I don't see. Oh, okay, okay. So as we can see from Vanorion, he removed Liana and Licorice and put in Elwyn and Illustrial. So he's pretty much doubling down on going up all in composition, which is kind of interesting, yet kind of also, I feel it doesn't fit the style. Maybe we'll have to kind of see here. So Absol again, first picking Florentia. I find that a very interesting first pick. And on Vanorian's side, he bans both Bernhardt and Lucretia. So I guess he basically would rather go through a tank fight than attempting a tankless fight like he did last game. So a little bit of a change there. And this time he first picks Lucretia. Lucretia always being strong due to having so much range when her golem is present. Yeah, from Absol's side, let's see who he's going to be banning since he first picked Florentia. It's kind of hard to completely gauge what his game plan is. So he got rid of Kyra and T-Jess, so he got rid of two of the mages. So in retrospect, if he's banning both of them, there might be a possibility that he wants to choose Juggler here. But then Lucretia is already chosen, so it might not be. Or he can choose Hilda, which automatically gives faction buff to Florentia. Alright, his backup time is almost over. He has about 18 seconds, and he chooses T-Dress in this case. Alright, interesting. He's going very magic heavy, as we can see. So as you can see from all the magic DPSs that have been in Apex, Luna is a perfect pick to add to your box, guys. Add more Lunas. Remove who? Alright, Florentia being chosen. Oh, how do I remove Luna if I don't have a Luna? Alright, Vanorion picking up Florentia after, yeah, I guess she's the only healer left. Well, my Luna's 4-star, so she's able to do what she needs, but not exactly the most farmed. Plus she's Meteor. Lol. Alright, Absoul picking up Juggler, which I said that he would probably pick up the second turn. Yes, yes, Luna's great. Magic defense person. Yay. Alright, from Vanorian's side, I'd pick up Elwyn, honestly. Elwyn seems pretty good here. But hey, who am I thinking? Fire him, I'd probably pick up Elwin and see if I could pick up Sherry. They seem pretty solid in this matchup. Oh, they're gone though. Poor him. Yeah, I don't think he needed to pick up Hilda there. Alright, Bozo being picked up by Absoul. Probably last pick he'll choose well, it kind of depends on who Vanorion chooses. He might choose Old Landius just for the faction buff among 3 characters. Yeah. No, Loomis. He had Elwin. He had Elwin and Sherry up. I think those would have been better than Bernie. Alright, so he chooses Kruger here, and he gets Himiko and Bull's band. Yeah. He had solid picks that he could have chose instead of Hilda. I don't think he needed to choose Hilda there. Alright, Absol goes ahead and ends with Helena. And Vanorion chooses Bernie here. Bernie being, I guess, a solid pick. He won't have to bring faction buff on Hilda. Kruger will kind of just be on his own, being a menace to society. Oh, yeah, I could just leave that open actually. Kind of interesting. If you see from both teams, you kind of see exactly what the game plan kind of is. Absol has his Juggler Tejas combo, which is quite annoying. Vanorion does have Lucretia, and he does have a lot of support, and Kruger is always a nice addition. Personally, I like Vanorian's team, but that's just because I like Empire in general. But Absol's team is quite strong as well, especially for the fact that there's no countered tile changer, so Helena's tiles will be quite menacing or very annoying. Alright, game begins. We see Helena with Angels, pretty expected with the magic damage. Lots of Behemoths with Juggler, and that is kind of expected because Lucretia is holy. Not always, but in this case, lots of Behemoth probably just safer choice. Bozel 3C faction buff. Tejas with teleport strengthened for herself since there is no faction buff for her. And Florentia just standard. Alright, Vanorion, Acid Burns, Kruger, Hilda is double defense. Interesting. Yeah, whatever floats his boat. Starting off with Evil Overwhelming on Lygenesis. Always a good pick because Lygenesis has to go next to other people in order to have her act again. Bernie, Sword Dance. Florentia is the Mass Attack. I guess she's bringing Mass Attack purely just for Kruger. That's kind of an interesting choice here. Lucretia going AoE, Free Strike, and 3C. I guess it's for the extra debuffs, but Death Scythe is definitely very strong. I would consider just going that side just for the strength of it. Alright. So Helena moves all the way to the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Okay, she's already able to reach. It's a pretty small map anyways. It's kind of interesting on what the first play may be. Like actually depending, since Vanorion doesn't have too many solid cleanses, he could just go ahead and teleport Absoul in 3C. But first, you know, faction buffing, of course. We'll have to definitely see. Alright, so she strengthens herself, but she decides to not act again, which is an interesting choice. I think acting again at all times would be beneficial in this case. Lucretia just charging all the way forward, moving at the very front. That's also a very interesting choice here. I think it's very easy for Absoul to get preemptive strike if he really wanted. But given his movement right now, I don't see him attempting it. So he only moves 3 forward, so he can't hit them, as you can see. Alright, Bernie moving forward, faction buffing. Nothing too huge happening. It will definitely be Absoul's side that has the first hit, and Vanorion's side being on the receiving side. The only possibility in which Vanorion hits first is if Kruger makes the first move. So there is a rush done by Absoul. On Vanorion's side, he has to quickly make a decision here because Absoul is definitely going to be coming in, followed by Helena and Juggler. And given this chance, he can again possibly Kruger, which if he does, oh no, he brought Acid Burn, so it won't even hit. So there's only so many things he could do, but Absoul is basically coming full on in next turn. Alright, there's a rush to Kruger. Hopefully he doesn't get silenced. Does that defend silence? Oh yeah, it does defend silence. So that is a good skill for Absoul, I would guess. So now that Absoul has 5, he can hit all 4 here. He can also follow up with Helena and Juggler. And given that T-Jess hasn't done her act again, she could teleport as well. Okay, so he's starting off with Juggler 3C. And we'll have to see what Vanorion decides to do from there. Alright, just does a straight up 3C on Juggler. This most likely won't kill. Yeah. But Juggler is definitely going to die next turn. But by that time, he should have basically done everything that he needed. As you can see, he's basically can killed by Bernie, Kruger, anyone really, except Hilda probably. But hey, he fulfilled his job, right? Now it's everyone else's time to come in. In that response, I think he should have switched with Lucretia and moved her back, because he knows that Bulls is going to be coming in right here. Now the big question is, should he be going in and debuffing now or waiting? Because he knows that if he does any AoE, the next following will be Florentia 3C. So his question here is, should you move with Helena first or should you move with Bolzel first? Two, three, four. Alright, no, he moves with TJS. So I guess he's gonna aim for Florentia here. Yeah, he got the breeze. He's got it. He can aim for Florentia and she should be dead. Alright, now he can just go in and straight AoE without fear. Alright, Bulls are going in, killing TJS here. So 3C hits everyone. Plenty of damage. They are pretty low, so Helena will definitely be coming in next. 2, 3, 4. This one, yeah. So she could pretty much hit anywhere she would feel like. Alright, Sun strikes Bolzel to do another 3C. Probably should start with the 3C here, killing Kruger, then he can move and attack Lucretia. Or in this case, attack Hilda and kind of killing both with her AoEs. Alright, she's going in. Just a 10% damage dealt down. This will definitely be able to kill both of them. Oh, she got Moby down. Wait, she can get Moby down? Okay, and that's that. That's the top 32 round. Absoul taking the win, and good job to both Vanorion and Absoul. Yeah, pass block. Alright. Have fun, enjoy your weekend, do some more Apex, get to Langrisser. Alright, see you guys later.